Okay, yes, we're live again. Hi, Chris. So, everybody, we're starting a little bit late again because I don't know, every time when we start up, there's something wrong with my headphones or with Chris's webcam.
Camera.
I don't know. So, tell us what it was this time because it's actually really funny. I will show, I will tell you. I opened up and Chris joined me and her screen was like black and she logged in, logged out, logged in, logged out, tried to change things. And what was it in the end, Chris?
Okay, I show you guys. I have a camera, and there is a lot. There's a my camera has like something you can close it with, like this. Then my camera is closed, and now it's there. But there were some. I had some. I had some people to stayed over this couple of days, and I think something happened, or and the camera got closed, and I didn't see that. I didn't notice it. So I was like, "Oh God, what's going on?" I didn't understand, and I tried, and suddenly I saw I got my camera out, and then you said, I see something," and then I saw, oh wait, now I know the well was talking again. I said, there is a switch. There is some cover. And then, hello, there was light.
Well, luckily, everything was functioning. I was like already it's broken down, or it was really strange because yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, it was strange, hilariously. It was the number three again, the number three. Yes, learning by experience, guys. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, and then I can add right away that because I can remember last time I had the same issue with my mic, but with my headphones. So people learning by trial and error. Sometimes you make the same mistake over and over again. I just didn't remember. There was something in the back of my mind, like there was something last time that didn't work, but I didn't know anymore what. So I put it on because then it's more quiet around me, and I was like, well, that's there's things going on around me that I was like, I want to focus a little bit more. And then I put it on, and then I was like, oh yeah, that was the thing that
Yeah,
didn't
because
work last
you
time.
couldn't you couldn't see me, but you could hear me, and I couldn't hear you, but I could see you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if we were beautiful. Our talents, your talent is the visual talent, and I was the the speaking talent, and combined we are a team.
Exactly. So, what are we gonna talk about this week? I have actually no clue. Do you have something to share about, like maybe you experienced something this week, or do you want to share with us?
Uh, yeah, this week it was crazy. So again, a lot is going on, and a lot is going on with a lot of people. So yeah, and I'm still learning by experience. And yeah, I would say there is something very nicely going on. Is I experienced a couple past days. Experienced with inviting a blue energy field. So my sister, she has a blue energy field, the projector energy field, and also my brother. It was very funny because when I was addressing him by a WhatsApp, but it was addressed to a whole group, a whole bunch of people. He did not reply. He didn't. So, And I was thinking, okay, I can. I didn't hear from him yet, so I will personally send him a message, and I called his name, and he immediately responds. So that was funny to experience. And I think yeah, we were talking about that in the group during the peer meetings, about the blue energy field, and I just put it into yeah, into the practice. So this is how we say that in Dutch. I don't know if it's proper English, but I made it practical, and I experienced with it with my brother and my sister, and it I have to say it works very well.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah, like with WhatsApp, you the only possible way is to use their name because you cannot look them in the eyes.
Yes.
Normally, when you sit face to face, you could also use, really looking purposefully at them, and that's also a way of inviting them to talk or share or whatever they want to do at that moment. So yeah, it's an interesting field, the energy field, the blue energy field. I'm still experimenting with it a lot too. So yeah, it's challenging in the way that I'm being aware of my own way. I need to inform and be aware of my energy field and what it does and what it doesn't do. And then keep in mind that, people that you're talking to, what kind of energy field they have. And I know you always have to come from your own energy field. That's the lead, that takes the lead, because you have to be autonomous. It's always a difficult word. Um, but then you have to stay true to yourself. So you have to follow your own signature and uh, in authority and stuff like that. But when you know the other ones feel, yeah, you start to experiment with, okay, I am informing, but also in a way. For example, if I inform um, Monique, that is also a yellow energy field, it's more like statements, boom, 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 and it's done. And that works for us really well. But when I inform, for example, the red energy field or orange energy field, and I want something from them, then I ask yes and no questions. So, it's still informing, but it's a slightly different way of saying it somehow. That's what I'm experimenting with now. Unless it's something that I only really like to inform them about, like this is the step I'm gonna take. Point. Period. There's no question. There's no. It's just like, okay, this is what's happening, or this is what's gonna happen, and so now you know. And actually, interesting part about that is that just this morning, in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, one of the ladies was like, "Yeah, for me it took a while as a yellow energy field to get the difference between informing and and explaining, because for a lot, and I recognize that totally, because in the beginning, for me, informing felt like I had to explain why I was gonna do what I was gonna do, and informing has nothing to do with that. It's just like, okay, for example, um, I have bought this course and I'm going to follow that. And, instead of explaining why I bought it, to do this or that, or to learn this or to learn that, no, I just bought it. And so now you know, and I'm busy with that, period. And it took, well, quite a few years for me to step into the only informing part. Um, Also because the people that I had around me had the tendency to ask why. So why did you do that? And why are you want to do that? And what's the meaning of it? And blah, 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 blah. And I started explaining. And that really worked against me because I was like, yeah, that was not what it was about. I just wanted to follow that and I followed my instincts, you know. Yeah, you have something to add?
Yeah, I think explaining would be acting in response. So explaining is for you guys is acting in response. So it's not. It's for me. I could explain things, but you guys just have to inform. So it will take you out of your strength. It will put you
Yeah,
out of your strength. Yeah.
yeah, in a big way. But because you're so used to, you know, the explaining part and the responding part, because you know everybody around you, for at least for me during my youth and stuff and in school and you know everywhere, you're trained to respond to the information you get around yourself. So it took me quite a while, and still I have moments that I will start to explain why I do something, um, and sometimes I actually um, yeah, maybe it's because I started from myself, not that someone's asking the question, but sometimes, you know, with a friend, uh, we would have a date, like a set date, and then at the moment the date is coming or the time is coming, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling it, you know, my spleen is like, no. Um, I noticed that with some people, I will give an explanation as to like, okay, I'm not feeling it, you know, and it's more in explanation kind of the whole energy part of it. So explaining the energy, like, okay, don't have the energy right now, or um, and it's actually interesting that I'm doing that now that I'm come to think of it. That's something I started recently, and it doesn't feel bad or like draining or whatever. So it's interesting actually why I'm doing that. Hmm. Well, it's a nice thing to check where that is coming from for me because I didn't do that for like I would only say okay, no, it's now a no, and I'm not coming. And now recently I'm more explaining why am I not coming, and not like explaining in the sense of I'm doing this or I'm doing that, more from the energy standpoint, like, okay, no, I get a no right now, so you know, a no for me in the moment, I have to follow that. So that's what I explain. So maybe that's more because somehow I'm sharing more the experience for me, and then people get to see like, hey, oh wait, you know, there's also a way to say no, honoring yourself without getting into explanations, you know, that you have another appointment or whatever's going on.
But is am I right? But I get the feeling that you are explaining, but I can imagine that you are explaining in a way, yeah, in some kind of informing way. Am I right? Because you can could that be true?
Yeah,
Because you just inform the people what happens to you,
true.
that you follow your body now, the language of your body, and then you just tell people, inform people that you say no because you follow your body. And yes, it is explaining, but also it is informing, because it's somehow it is the way we feel at the moment, that we are somehow leading by example, because this is exactly exactly the thing we like to share with other people, because it helps you and it helps everybody to live their life uh, at the original way. That means not by mind but by heart. So yes, it is explaining, But yes, it is informing and explaining for the good cause.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. That resonates. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before it would be like explaining for me is like um how do you I know how to say it in Dutch, but um not like well, sometimes it was more like giving an excuse why you say no. So in that sense, more explaining, and as if I had to how do you say that in English? Alsof ik verantwoording moest afleggen.
Yeah, but you want to yeah,
How do
show
you say that
your
in English?
responsibility.
No, it's not
Yeah, no, it's
responsibility. That's the
responsibility.
thing.
No, no, I know. It's I don't know the word at the moment. No,
No, me
but
neither. No, me
it
neither.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
Why?
matter that we don't
No, but
know.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean by that. So that's a big difference. You know, if you are coming from that energy or just informative energy. And I see my friend. It's actually a peer, one of our peers, Misty. She's really starting to embrace that. You know, also to when she's a red energy field, so she is in response. But you know, a friend will ask her out for a night out in the town or dinner or whatever, and because she's an emotional authority, she always says like, okay, um, let's say yes at this moment, but I will let you know on the day itself how I really feel, if it's a yes or a no. Because she wants to give herself the space that it is in her calendar, so she can keep it in her mind with responsibilities of work and whatever. But she gives herself the space also to on that day say, no, well, you know what? No, I don't want to come. And one of the beautiful examples was my birthday. Misty is one of my best friends here. And of course, I wanted her to be New Year's Eve, you know, celebrating my birthday with me. And but I know her energy, how it works, and usually evenings are not really her thing. You know, sometimes you know once, twice a month she will have the energy and will go out and you know have fun late too late at night. But usually, you know, she's more like 9:30. I'm done, and you know I go to my bed, read a little, or watch television or whatever. And so she called me the day, like I don't even remember if it was in the morning or in the afternoon. I don't remember. But she called me and she was like, "Yeah, yeah, I feel really bad, but I'm not feeling it." She says, I'm just not feeling it to go out, you know, and stay as late as at least 12 o'clock because my birthday was at 12 o'clock with New Year's Eve." And so I immediately said, yeah, okay, you know, it is what it is. If you don't feel it, I'd rather that you honor that than that you track yourself over to, you know, where we are and you're not feeling it. You know, everybody will be affected by that, including yourself. And we are all, especially the peers, you know, we're experimenting a lot with those things. So what we say, we should, you know, act upon ourselves also, I think, because otherwise I would find myself very hypocritical. And so I was totally fine with it. There was no judgment, there was nothing. And I was like, okay, of course, I wish were there, but, you know, I honor your energy. Another friend who was coming, she called her too, like, okay, I'm not driving with you guys because I decided not to go. And that friend was actually like 1 to 2 weeks not amused with her. She was really not like bitching about it or something, but you could feel that she didn't understand. She was like, you know, why didn't you um, talk to yourself like, okay, I can have the energy and I just make it happen and I will go because Mariska is one of my best friends. So I need to do this for her. And she couldn't get that I was okay with it. Because, yeah, but it's your birthday and this and that. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, I'd rather she follows her energy then that she's coming, and everybody is affected by that, and she just couldn't really get how I was so easygoing with it actually. And another thing that also, and I think you were there too. There was a peer meeting, I believe, or was it I don't know, but it was really unique something, and Misty was there too. And we also had a conversation about, you know, um, and this is an example from her and me, personally. So what would happen? I would be in a conversation with her, and then all of a sudden, you would see her go. Her face would turn away. She would be distracted by something else, and then I feel like I'm talking to the air, but not really to her anymore. And I started noticing that also with other people, with people you are in a conversation, or you are like with multiple people, and you're one-on-one talking to someone, and all of a sudden they just, they're not there anymore. And one of the things that I found very interesting about that is that, yeah, okay, if we are saying that you always should honor your energy and where it flows also, what I'm really curious now about is, for me, it's a sign, it's saying energy, it's done, because the person gets attracted by another energy and follows that, and, is in response to that energy. And I really was like, if we start, because it's rude, found rude if you were in a conversation and all of a sudden someone is like, you know, I'm brought up that that's rude. You don't do that. You keep listening, even though your energy is attracted somewhere else. So now I'm more and more observant of how that dynamic works, and also to see uh, that I don't have judgment about it. So like, oh, this is rude, or oh, no, no. Now I'm looking at the person. No, not only Missy, but also other person, and I see that happening, and I'm like, interesting. So apparently, it's done. The conversation is just over, and that's okay. You know, while I might want to have more to tell or want to share more, but apparently that energy field in that moment is going somewhere else. So it's closing off for my energy field. And I was like, wow, if you are starting to look at the world from that dynamic and there's no judgment about it, conversations and all kinds of other stuff would be so different. If you start accepting like, okay, this moment, that was the moment that we had, and that was good, and then all of a sudden it's something else. And one of the things for me is, I have a couple of gifts that are like that. I'm deaf. In the moment, I can be deaf for something that's been said, and I'm literally deaf because if someone says a week later, I told you, and I'm like, I really, honest to God, I didn't hear it, um, but I can imagine that for them, it looks the same, that I'm deaf and they're talking and talking and talking to me, but I'm not, there in that moment because my energy field blocks it off because it's not for me to know what they are sharing with me. And the whole dynamic of conversations and um, you have to listen until someone is, finished, and you have to do this and you have to do that. That changes if you look at it from that perspective. So, can you have you any idea what I mean, or what is your thoughts about it? Do you want to share that?
I know an ancient story about it. I will try to tell it in English. It's about it's I think it's a Buddhist story. It is about it's about a man. I think he was a monk. Let's say a monk. It's not important. The details are not important. It's about the whole. story. So let's say there's a monk, and the monk is honored by the locals, and he's talking to them, and then he was talking to a girl, and later on, the girl apparently she had some sexual intercourse with someone, but she was really embarrassed about it, and she told the people that the child she was bearing it was from him. So so everybody started to talk to that monk and said why and said you were responsible. Uh, and the monk says okay. So the child was born, and then the woman she gave the child to him, and he knew he didn't do anything. But they were saying, "It's your child. You are responsible. You are the father." Okay. So the child, he took care of the child for many years, like 4 or 5 years, and then the truth came out. The girl she told a real story, and people were embarrassed and start to apologize to the monk. And then the woman she came to the monk, and she said, "Okay, I'm sorry, but you are not the father, and but I want my child now, and you're off the hook." And then he said, "Okay." So the whole point of this story is because he was not arguing at all. He was not struggling. He was just going with the flow. The people were saying that this was happening, and he knew it was not true because he knew he was not having intercourse with that girl. He didn't do anything, but he was just go with the flow and go with the whole story. And then he just took care of the child, and then the child was gone because the mother wanted the child. He was just going on. So he was responding on what's going on. And of course, I know this is this is not for the beginners. It is, I think, what they call enlightened people. But um, if you are responding and not trying to explain, because if you are explaining in this moment at that point, then you are getting hooked. You are getting hooked to the story. And he was not hooked at all. He was just living his life. And when life was offering this opportunity, life was saying that he has to take care of the child, he did it. And then when life was saying the child will go away, he just let it go away, and he just did it. And if we are able to observe and to be without any judgmental things, and just go with the flow and go with what's going on, especially I think especially when you have the 3 or the 6 in your profile, when you are learning by experience, you're just accepting what's going on. And of course it will take a lot of, yeah, enlightenment, I guess, because and this is not my aim, but this is what I really wish I will be able to be in life, to live my life like this. Of course, I'm not able to do that at the moment, but I'm going strong. I think I go a long way. But so if you are, and I think one of the explanation about your friend Misty, we talked about it during one of our peer meetings, was about the red energy field. She has a red energy field, and the red energy field is quite large. And I have direct energy field as well. So we can feel all kind of things come when something is entering our energy field. We feel it, and you can be distracted by this. So this could be the explanation why she just turned her head, or why she was out of the conversation just like that.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
there is a difference. You have the distractions from the movement that happens
yeah,
throughout the energy field, but also what I observe is that you're in a conversation, she gets distracted, and all of a sudden is in a total different conversation with totally someone else.
yeah,
So in that moment, I would in like a couple of years ago, I would be like pissed off, like what the hell? I was talking to you, and now all of a sudden you turn around and you're talking with someone else. You know, I didn't finish my story or my whatever, and now I'm starting to more and more be neutral about it and be like, okay, apparently, up until this point, it was for her also interesting to follow and hear what I had to say. And now apparently it's not anymore. And her energy, it changes direction. And it's for me, and I don't want to put like conclusions on to it yet because I don't know, but I find it very interesting to observe because I'm like, yeah, if we would be acceptant of that without judgment, conversations could be completely different. The way they are ending, the way they are beginning, every aspect actually from a conversation
yeah,
changes, and that's
yeah. Or you could do something else. You could also do something else. Namely, you can be neutral. So you are neutral and you don't feel personally affected by it, but you can inform her on a beautiful way, on a neutral way. You can inform her that your story wasn't quite finished yet. So you can take her, you can bring her back if she wants. You can give her the choice to just uh,
respond.
yes.
Yeah, that's a good.
So I think that would be also very beautiful for you,
Yeah,
because it's not always then, because it's not like fatalism. Someone is going away and then end of that. No, you can restrain it. You can get it back if you want, but stay in a neutral way and just inform her, because you have the yellow energy field. Inform her that your story is not over yet. If you inform her and tell her that, uh, yeah, like, hey, you are away from my story is not over yet, and why are I don't know, but if you put some emotions in it, the neutral position is gone, and then there will be an entire different situation
yeah,
happening. But if you keep the neutral position and you just stay with your informing part of what's going on, and then let her to respond. She can respond like saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go on." Or she said, or she's totally not interested anymore, and she continue. As she said something else, and then she continues with the other guy. Then it
yeah.
doesn't matter.
That's an interesting experiment. Yeah, I will definitely go experiment with that. And especially coming from the neutrality, not taking it personal, and also, in informing, like you said, don't put emotions into it or something personal into it, like, oh, you don't want to listen, or, like that,
Yeah,
because that is what I would do. Like years ago, I would be like really offended and would be like, "Whoa, so okay, I'm not interesting enough," or make a snarky remark, which especially with emotional authorities, can give like pow. There can be like a blowout energetically, which I will always feel, and then I would be like, what? Go over it, a little bit snarkier, and then all of a sudden you have like almost a fight, and you're not sure what you're fighting about. So yeah, that's an interesting one too. I'm not actually doing that right now, so yeah, I think that's a good one to try it out. But how would you then say if you are, because if you are with an other red energy field, so do you recognize what I'm saying? Like you're talking to someone and all of a sudden they're like, you know, moving away, and I imagine that's for everybody. That's not only between red and yellow and whatever. That I think that's universal. So
I noticed that with not only with red energy field types, but with everybody.
yeah,
And
exactly.
a lot
But
in
how
my
would you
life.
do it? Because
Sorry.
you're in response. For me, it's informing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Missy, I haven't finished my story yet. Would like to, finish it if you're up to that, and then she can respond yes or no. But how would you do it as a red energy field? Because you would need to be in response. So how? What is?
I could refer to her response. I say, hey, I notice that you are away from me now, and I didn't finish my story yet. I say, you,
Yeah,
or I can do like this, you. I would do things like that, like be in response of her response,
yeah,
not informing, but in response. And that could be saying something, or that could be a movement like you, or something like that. I would do that. Or I can respond, what I sometimes do, because it happens a lot of times. And what I do is when I notice that I'm talking to the wall instead of to the people, I just stop talking. In response, I stop and I don't do anything anymore. And then they say, "Huh? What is she doing?" They can feel my energy, and then, why? Yeah, why? Because I'm not going to talk to the wall. The wall knows everything already. But I thought you were interested in, but something like that. And not a neutral way, but this is how I do it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And that's a good. Yeah, I can see the.
And I can imagine you too, because I do it most of the times. I do it on a provocative way because I have provocation in my blood, in my energy, and you have, I know, as well. So I can imagine that this gift would be triggered, would be put on if something like that happens. So we can do it all kinds of way, and you can inform with your provocative energy as well. You don't need the words, but you can. And I think it happens
Yeah,
already.
exactly. That is not something that I control. That just
Yeah.
happens. So yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll experiment with that because I think it's a very interesting new way of looking at conversations and stuff like that. I tend to it's becoming less and less, but especially in my past, I would go on and on and on and on and on. Especially when I was alone for a long time. I didn't see a lot of people. And if I then see someone, whoa, man, take cover because Mariska is going because she needs to get everything out of there that was going on and on and on, inside of me. Um, I luckily don't have that anymore, or I have it less. Let's put it like that. It's not like it's gone, but it's less. Um, And I can totally get that sometimes, also that is very overwhelming for people. There's a lot of energy coming with those words, whatever, everything that I'm saying. And at some point, people also can be just dumb. It's dumb. So yeah,
Yeah, but then they can or inform you or whatever that they are done. That would be the
the
right
new
way,
way. Yeah.
because you cannot forget you are telling something. This is you are using energy. You are giving someone your energy, and when they react like it's not personal personally rude, but it is not the way it should go. In If you really will have if you really if there really is a healthy way of energy flowing and energy combining, then it should be like a closure or something like that. She should or inform you or whatever, the, um, or respond, or yeah, or
I
reflect.
at,
So
at To a certain point, I agree 100% with you. But looking back, and what I have observed is that it starts with the body movement. So they are probably not even aware themselves yet that they are
mhm,
doing that. So
yeah, yeah,
the informing part becomes sketchy then, because if you're not aware that you're doing something, how could you inform someone from something that you're not aware of doing? Do you get what I mean?
yeah, but you don't need to inform them about what they are doing. No, you can inform them that your story is not over yet. You have to
Yeah,
get their
exactly. That's
energy
my
back.
part. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
part. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, you mean it like that? No, okay. I
Yeah,
thought it
you
was
have to. You
further
can.
already.
You can mirror them. You can mirror them. Just tell them and show them what's going on, so they can either learn from it or they can make another decision or whatever.
Yeah.
But
No, no, no. I get it. I get it. No, but I was already one step further,
yeah,
because I was like, yeah, that would be cool if at some point, if like for example, I had a friend in Holland, and I would do that, when she came over, and I didn't see her for like 2 months maybe, and other persons I didn't see, so I started, like a lot of word vomit would come out of my mouth just to be like, and I would talk really quickly because I was like, she's only gonna be here for like 2 hours, so in those 2 hours I need to tell everything that happened and that I experienced and whatever. And in the beginning she wouldn't do anything. Later she learned, like, okay, Mariska, hello, I'm here and I would like to say something too. She was a manifestor or is a manifestor, by the way, a yellow energy field. Um, but we were talking about responsibility, last time. And actually, that is also something that's part of being responsible for, guarding your own energy. So at the moment that she felt like overwhelmed or like this is too much, Mariska, she needs to step up and
oh
make
yeah,
me aware, like, okay, wait, this is it for me. This is enough, I cannot handle
yeah.
anymore.
But this is a healthy closure. This is what
Exactly.
I meant by closure. It
Yeah.
needs a closure.
Yeah, that would
It
be
that
cool
is a
if
healthy
people would start
closure.
doing that.
Sorry.
That would be cool if people start doing that, because
Yes.
yeah, it leaves, a lot of assuming and expectations. You also get rid of that because, when someone just moves and starts talking with someone else, you have these assumptions like, oh, she doesn't like me. Oh, she's fed up with me, or whatever comes to mind. Everybody has their own demons and little voices talking to them. And but in the moment, then people would say like, okay, I'm done, my energy is full, or
Yeah.
I'm done with this conversation, and I don't even need to explain why. um, then you get the chance, like, okay, wait, okay, thank you. Then
Yeah,
it's not about being boring or whatever thing it is that you're telling yourself. The reason is that she moved away to another conversation. And I think the clarity it would bring to conversations and to situations and whatever, wow, that would be the life changing, I believe, at least. And I think
yeah,
you did that too, yeah.
yeah. It will. There will be a whole less arguing and whatever. It's not necessary anymore. It's neutral. It stays neutral, and it's very how do you say it? Um, efficient. It's very efficient.
Oh yeah, and it will save you energy, because
Yeah,
normally that's the moment when you keep listening to someone that's draining you, then you will be drained completely at the end, and you will be like almost resentful at
hmm,
leaving that person, and be like, oh, I don't want to talk to that person again, because I'm completely depleted afterwards. And how many times I'm hearing that around me, that people are like, yeah, I don't want to hang out with that person, because, if I'm talking to them, I always am very tired afterwards. I don't want that. But they say that, but they don't actually do something about it. And I know it's hard, because for me, it's still hard. I'm also an open solar plexus. So I try to avoid confrontation as much as possible. And that is very confrontational, to say to someone, okay, I'm done with this conversation. For me, this is the end. I appreciate you, I respect you, but for me, this is the end. It's hard. For me, it is hard too. I'm completely, guilty of also sometimes listening too long, and then I would find a way to get out of it. And I am that far that I won't be resentful anymore, because now I know it's my own boundaries that's being crossed, and I didn't put up the boundary, so it's my own responsibility to. I'm drained. Yeah, live with it,
yeah,
because you chose to keep listening and not say anything, so I'm taking responsibility. And I think that's also the first step to getting to that point of being able, really in the moment, be able and say, okay, this is it for me.
yeah. I have a very beautiful example.
Yeah.
It happened yesterday, and because the example is it's about when you do things like that, when you just tell people, and in your case inform people, and you stay faithful to your energy field type, then the whole thing stays in the flow, and you will see that good things happen. Good, there's no good and bad, but anyway. So I have the example is this. My mom, she last Saturday she fell and she broke her wrist, and yeah, it's very sad. And she had to go to the hospital, and I think she will be operated on, but she need an operation. I'm not quite sure. We will go on this Wednesday, day after tomorrow, to the hospital, and then we will find out more. But yesterday, someone she knows, she came by because they had an appointment. It was made before the accident, so she was okay with it. She just let it go through, and just the woman entered her house, and I was in her house. I was there because I stayed over and helped my mom. But I listened. I can feel energy very good, very well, and I was feeling that she was trying to get energy from my mom because she was telling stories, and I was like, okay, this is not going to happen because my mom, she's too fragile at the moment, and I have to interfere. So I did it in response. I really, it was beautiful. I was in response, but I was very clear to her that she immediately had to stop with telling the stories. And I was telling her, like, in response, my mom, she can't hear the stories now. She's fragile and uh, she has to be careful. And she was like, oh, yeah, 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 no, yeah, 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 yeah. And it was okay. So, but the words I used were very direct and were not uh, in Dutch we would say it was not for the pussycat. It was whoa, it was very whoo. And but I got away with it because of course because of course there's more about it. I have the energy field, and it's very attractive, and blah blah blah. I can get away with it, and I know, but still, I believe that it also has to do with if you show someone their responsibility, and you do it on a way in yeah in aligned with your energy field, the flow stays and the flow will go on. And she was also in the flow, and uh, and immediately I just went away and I didn't do anything else. But the whole situation was interrupted, and my mom was protected. So yeah, I think I think this is a very beautiful example about staying in the flow, be staying aligned with your energy field, and staying alive. Yeah, and of course with all those other things that you will you will not interrupt the flow.
Yeah, totally. Totally, yeah. That's a good moi. That's Dutch, sorry. That's a
Beautiful.
good way to end this broadcast because you have to go to your mother to your mother and take care of her. So we're stopping at 2 sharp.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
it's
Liz,
okay.
for sharing again all the experiments and experiences. And yeah, we meet each other next week again.
Yes, yes, we will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody. Bye
Bye.
bye.